welcome to Confessions of Being Fabulous, where we live, we learn, we grow. I am in the car, obviously, so excuse the looking away, but this is how we're doing the video today because there's been lots of movement, and if I tell myself that I need to have a good hour or a good 30 minutes or a good even 15 minutes of just being in one place on today, this video won't happen. So anyway, to jump right in, I want this video to be self-reflective. So that means you're gonna have to answer this question honestly and then go and do something about it. So I was thinking about how traditionally I'm a planner, and I have like real life case studies of how planning for me has worked out beautifully. I used planning to graduate from the University of Maryland at College Park 3 years. I was about to say 3 years early. Not 3 years early, 1 year early. So I graduated in 3 years instead of 4. I also graduated from law school. I went to the University of Baltimore School of Law. I graduated from there a semester early. I also used planning to run my very first marathon in 2009 in New York City. And I used planning again to run it a second time in 2021. I had actually signed up for 2012, but Hurricane Sandy canceled that marathon that year. So the next one that I ran was in more recent years, 2021. And I have other examples, but so this came to me because I thought about it and I'm like, what has happened when certain things, you know, that I've been either really passionate about or I feel like I put a lot of energy into or effort into, but it hasn't worked out? What happened? Like, why didn't it work out? I want to first start by saying some things just aren't going to work out. So this isn't a post where I want you to, like, you know, turn into the mad scientist questioning every little thing that doesn't work out. Sometimes things just are not meant to be. It's not for you. It's not the right season. It's not going to happen. And that's just what it is. And no matter how much planning you do, like, that's the answer. So that's that. But I'm talking about when there were times where I suspect that maybe it could have worked out had I done something a little bit different. So when I reflected on this, what I came up with was, did you do like what you are traditionally actually really good at, which is plan? Like, did you really sit down and look at the picture from 30,000 feet in the air, or did you just kind of jump in? Because I will admit, I can be what I like to call a leaper. And sometimes being a leaper is cool when you need to be a leaper, but other times that's not what the season is calling for. The season is calling for you to sit down and plan out the game plan. So I realized there were moments when I was supposed to be a planner and instead I was being a leaper. And so when I chose to be a leaper for a season that required planning, I wasn't able to go all the way with whatever it is that I was trying to do because it just required more. And that's where I'm going, so I need to turn around. It required more of me, more than I was able to, you know, to give, unfortunately. So when I sat down, I'm like, so that means what I was really doing in those seasons, in those moments, I was looking for a shortcut and I took the shortcut. And see, the problem with shortcuts is that when we take shortcuts, we cut off our blessing and we cut off the opportunity to not just go all the way, but there's a lot of things that in doing, in taking action, even in the planning, there's something, you know, with that in and of itself that provides us with an opportunity to learn, that provides us with an opportunity to grow, that might even provide us with a source of data that is crucial for the whole project. So if you're taking shortcuts and you're cutting all of that out of the equation, now by default, you're not only going to not get to the end, but you're also not going to get that crucial, you know, kind of data, real life data, by going through the full process. So the question for you today is, let's do an inventory of shortcuts and look at your life and ask yourself honestly, where are some areas, and we can even put a cap on it. Let's go back, maybe let's say 15 years. You don't have to go back further than that unless you want to. But if I look over the last 15 years of my life, where are some areas where I have taken shortcuts? And then compare that to some areas where you took no shortcut. You went all the way through the process, regardless of what the process was. You did everything that you needed to do by way of planning and understanding what all of the steps were. Compare the results of the two and see what you come up with. And I challenge you, if it looks like you have been like me, where traditionally you have been a planner, and then you've convinced yourself that you no longer need to be that person because you need a shortcut right now. And sometimes we feel like we need shortcuts because we're out of time. We feel like we need a shortcut because, I don't have time, I gotta hurry up and do this or else. And that's pressure that might be a little bit accurate, but sometimes it's like self-inflicted pressure. This is where your faith comes into play. You got to have faith that when I do things in the right steps, in the right order, and maybe a God-ordained order, that the result is going to be exactly what it needs to be, even if it means that certain parts of the process. Why are you so close to my car? Even if it means that certain parts of the process are uncomfortable. So with that, I'm gonna go because I have an appointment right now, but I really wanted to get this message out. And today's one of those days where I'm all over the place. So realistically, it was never gonna happen in a quiet place somewhere in my home. So take some inventory, see areas in your life where you have taken shortcuts, compare that within the past 15 years with times where you did not choose to take a shortcut and you instead followed a plan, and see what those results look like. And if it looks like your results are way better with the plan, and I just suspect that's gonna be the case, then I encourage you, I'm not gonna tell you what to do because you're grown, you can do whatever you want, but I'm gonna encourage you to go back to being that planner. All right, happy Friday, guys. I wish you lots of fun, laughter, abundance in your life. Peace.